Good morning, everyone. Thank you for attending this webinar. My name is Madalina Duțamare, and together with my colleagues Caterina, Simona, and Sonia, we'll provide you today with updates regarding the IRIS implementation for regulatory procedure management as part of the product lifecycle. Our presentation today impacts mostly the marketing authorization holders of centrally approved products, as well as procedures such as PSUR, referrals and passes, which can cover both centrally approved and nationally approved products. Just to remind you that this session is being recorded, and the recording will be made available through the EMA corporate website and YouTube channel. We'll also provide you with the presentation, and we'll also have a Slido interaction towards the end of the session. Today's agenda includes an update on the regulatory procedure management IRIS implementation. It will include a roadmap, impacts of the first IRIS RPM rollout for pharmaceutical companies, and a demo on the industry portal. And in the final part, we will also have a Q&A session before closing the meeting. With this, I would like to hand over briefly to Caterina to explain you the Slido interaction.
Thank you, Madalina. So welcome, everyone. As mentioned by Madalina, you will be able to Slido for the Q&A session. You can access the Slido joining at slido.com and entering the code RPM update. Otherwise, you can simply join scanning the QR code you can find in this slide. Please be aware that throughout the presentation, the Slido code will always be available in all slides, so you can also join later. And after you join Slido, you can send your questions or upvote questions that were already inserted. And during the Q&A, we will show the questions which will be answered in order of the upvotes. So the most upvoted ones will be answered before. So thank you and enjoy your sessions.
Thanks, Caterina. We can move to the next slide. With just a small overview about what IRIS is and our journey so far. IRIS has been chosen as case management platform across the EMA, and in 2018, the implementation aimed to learn the system capability. So there was development happening on the platform since 2018. You may be familiar with procedures like orphan designation or scientific advice. Back then, IRIS onboarded relatively standalone procedures with minimal dependencies on other systems. Currently, we are in stage 2, moving connected procedures to IRIS in a controlled manner to create a system ready for the new pharma legislation. Today, we are focusing on processes related to the product life cycle for centrally approved procedures such as variations, marketing authorization transfers, PSUR, post-authorization measure, and so on. These are mainly targeting marketing authorization holders of centrally approved products. However, as mentioned before, and we will have maybe the chance to discuss in the Q&As and later on, if a procedure is led by EMA, like a PSUSA or a referral or a pass, this IRIS implementation will impact also marketing authorization holders for nationally approved products. However, for this year, I will explain in the next slides. This year we have just a small rollout with a small sample of products, and the impacts are minimum on the marketing authorization holders of nationally approved products. So after 2025, the implementation will target moving the application for marketing authorization for centrally approved products and other procedures which we are currently managing in our current case management system called SIMED. With this approach, we are targeting on a control transition to enable gradual learning curve and evolve with user feedback, to enable incremental migration of procedural data. And we started with products with lower complexity. And very important, this will allow us to meet a new fee regulation implementation, which has a deadline in January 2025. In the next slide, I will I'll go more in detail on the impacts in 2024 and slightly touching on the impacts from 2025 onwards. But to follow on the principles explained before, last month, the first IRIS regulatory procedure management rollout took place, and it includes a set of human and veterinary centrally approved products. These are products with relatively simple life cycles of only variations, Article 61.3 notifications and marketing authorization transfers as applicable for each domain, of course. And in this way, we ensure predictability on the product's life cycle composition and a controlled transition of EMA's activities into IRIS. The impact at the moment is only for the industry users from marketing authorization holders of the selected products. So these are around 111, I think, human and veterinary products. And these users will need to access IRIS to view the case status via the industry portal, withdraw a case, update the case contacts, contributors, and managers, and retrieve documents sent by the EMEA, and also submit non-ECTD related documents, which were usually sent previously via UDRA-link. So in this case, we are not going to use UDRA-link. You will have a more detailed overview on the impacts for industry depicted by Simona in the next part of the presentation. In the next steps, by 2024, all the post-authorization procedures will be managed in IRIS. I will also show you a roadmap later. And one important aspect which I would like to mention is that before submitting any procedure for products transferred into IRIS, all marketing authorization holders should have a relevant roles in the IAM. This year requirements, as mentioned, only targets the marketing authorization holders of the selected products. However, from next year, the requirement will be extended to all centrally approved products and marketing authorization holders for nationally approved products if they are involved in a PSUSA referral or pass, which are led by the EMA, because we aim to, of course, replace UDRA-link and our current case management system with IRIS, which has more extended capabilities and will hence facilitate easier interaction between all the stakeholders. With this, I would like to present you the roadmap for implementation. I will first explain the terminology we use in the roadmap. In this slide, the concept of EPIC is a container for a number of procedures that will deliver functionalities for the end user. In this context, the stakeholders are EMA, industry, and the network. EPIC 1 covered variations, Article 61.3 notifications and marketing authorization transfers for veterinary and human products, with a rollout to production last month. Now we are under maintenance, and we already started the next EPIC, which is in the second swim lane. It's called EPIC 2, will include the remaining post-authorization procedures, and with the scheduled go live for Q4 2024, just ahead of the new fee regulation coming into force in January 2025. This strategy will facilitate transition of EMA greatest workload, which is on approved centralized procedures. In the next swim lanes, there will be further epics to include remaining procedures, which are currently managed in SAMED and enable its decommissioning. This was the roadmap. We will go into more details on the impact for pharmaceutical companies, mainly for the first rollout, so for this limited set of products in the next part, and will be led by my colleague Simona. We'll also, as mentioned, have a demo later on, led by Sonia, and the question and answer question. So thank you very much for your attention. I would like to hand over to my colleague.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Madalina. My name is Simona Griniena, and I will take you through a couple of slides on the main impact for the industry users after the first rollout, moving procedures into IRIS. So the first change impact to have an impact on industry is the market authorization holder contact person. So the contact person by default in IRIS becomes a contact person stated in electronic application form for market authorization application under the section 2.4.3. And it becomes by default a portal contact and submission manager in IRIS for the procedure. It allows the portal contact to receive all EMA notifications, emails on the submission. This portal contact also can access the submission in the IRIS industry portal and could follow the case until it's finalized. In addition, it allows him to change the submission contacts and add other users as managers or contributors also to access and modify the submission if it's needed. And just also to pay your attention that only individual email addresses of the marketing authorization holder contact person is accepted in IRIS. So just that no generic emails are supported by the system. And our proposal would be that it can be set up in out-of-forward rules within every organization in order to receive the different kind of notifications or emails within your organization. And also to mention that several other IRIS roles can be assigned within the organization with different access roles as IRIS industry user administrator, manager, contributor, coordinator. But more details are also provided in our guidance document, which you will have a link in the slides in this presentation as well. So these are the main things you should know about the contact person to be associated to each individual case and submission. If we can go to the next slide. The second change is about the EMA communication and document exchange format. As already mentioned by Madalina, IRIS Industry platform allows you to exchange the documents with EMA. So just to mention that emails sent from EMA to the industry portal contact will contain a basic administrative information on the submissions and also the link to the IRIS industry portal. So no URL links or attachments in the emails. Emails from EMA IRIS system will always come from this email address, and as mentioned in this slide, and contain a routing ID. So it is very important that when answering the email, please do not change the heading of the email, that it always lands within the correct case on EMA side for completeness in order to track all the correspondence with market authorization holder. And during the procedure, the document exchange, which are to be communicated outside ECTD or the NIS submissions will take place via IRIS Industry Portal, and where industry user can directly upload the document in the subfolder called Input from Industry. This subfolder is available under every submission you could access through the industry portal. And it's also important that EMA receives automatic notifications once there is any new document uploaded by the industry user. As well, you can access all the documents which are uploaded by EMA under the Output from EMA subfolder. And it's also available within every submission on your side. And as well, the automatic notifications are sent to the industry portal contact once the document is uploaded by EMA. Information on submission outcome, which means the procedure outcome, will be also available on the IRIS Industry portal under outcome, along with the documents in the Input from EMA subfolder. So it's also very useful that you can see what is the outcome of the procedure from your side independently as well. So these are main things which important to know on the what is changing in terms of the EMA communication and document exchange format. If we go to the next slide, please. This is about the lead product indication for work-sharing procedures. For work-sharing procedures to be managed in IRIS, we ask marketing authorization holders to indicate the lead product within the procedure in the cover letter of the work-sharing procedure. This is important for main reasons as explained here. So for us to assign the correct industry portal contact as explained in slide 10. So that means that the person which is authorized for post-authorization procedures for that lead product will become a industry portal contact for this work-sharing procedure. And also it will allow us to set up a lead marketing authorization holder for any payment-related activities. So this is it's worth to mention that it's very important in each cover letter to indicate which product is a lead product for assigning portal contact and also to set up payment-related activities. Using the industry portal, it also allows you to withdraw the procedure in very easy way as mentioned, portal contact, the procedure manager is allowed to withdraw the procedure, but also please keep in mind that the whole procedure is requested to be withdrawn through the industry portal when you want to withdraw all the scopes. So this is the main things what changes in terms of the using IRIS from the industry portal. And now if we can go to the next slide. This slide shows what stays the same, just for completeness and better overview of the system used. So the initial submission and responses to request for supplementary information continues as it is now via ECTD or VNIS submissions. Just maybe to explain, that those documents which are sent now through the UTRA link are to be uploaded through the industry portal. Timelines and active email notifications remains the same. If you now receive email from EMA on the main milestones of the procedure, so it will happen also through the IRIS system. The emails and notifications will still be sent at the same time to the IRIS Industry Portal contact. Also, request for withdrawal of single scopes remains via email. So if you want to withdraw one or more scopes, but not the whole procedure, you still continue sending those requests through the email. And also you will receive commission decision via UTRA-link as it is done now. Content of the documentation will not change. Just maybe to mention that in some of the documents you may receive that the documents can be accessible via IRIS. It's just the small translation to IRIS system or new way of working. And indeed, the guarantee of confidentiality, as well as as it was mentioned before, that emails will not contain any attachments or documents, so it will be linked to the IRIS industry portal to access all the documents which may contain some also confidential information. So these are the main also explanations on what stays the same. And now if we can go to the next slide. So now I will pass a floor to my colleague Sonia, who will take you to live demonstration on the industry portal. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. So what I want to share with you today is the industry portal. You can see the landing page here. Please be mindful, this is a UAT environment, so the procedural data is all fantasy and not those are not real variations. So here on the industry portal, you have under submissions, you have your ongoing submissions and completed submissions. Draft submissions do not apply currently for our procedure types. So I'm going to go to the ongoing submissions to view a case. We have here, for example, a variation. We have the overview of all the cases, and there's also the possibility to download as an Excel file this list of variations if you should need that for your purposes, internal purposes. We have here a link to the submission form of this case. If I click on here, I get some details on the case that I can view. Let's just scroll a little bit down. I have the product details, the package product details, and also further down the resources. And if I scroll back up, I can see here the timetable, which I can view. And this would be the timetable for the procedure. And in case there, for example, would be an RSI and the next phase of a procedure, an additional timetable would be added. And in addition to using this link to get into the submission details, there are more options available on this side, where I have view and edit submission. Here again, I can see the submission details, which is in a sense the same form I just showed you. And I can go either navigate back with the arrow, or I can use the breadcrumb on top. In addition, there are the folders for document sharing between the MAH and the EMA. So in this case that I've prepared in the documents from EMA, I can see one document that has been shared from the IRIS EMA with this industry portal. And if I go back under the documents from applicant, in this case, there are not yet documents displayed, but it works pretty simple. So we have the Add Files button. There is the Choose File, which brings you to your normal navigation of files. And then you go, please confirm. And you can see a green tick that documents have been submitted to the EMA, which we then can, on our side, see on our case, in our case folders. So these are then the documents that are usually shared via UTRA-Link and not via ECDD, like working documents during the procedure. And yes, and within this form, it is also possible to withdraw, which I will show you in a moment. I wanted to show you before where you can manage contributors and other case resources from the MAH's side. Okay, I'm going back to the case so I can show you a withdrawal. Back to view edit submission. Under the submission details, there is this withdrawal reasons box, which needs to be filled in order to be able to submit. You can type, it's a free text field to type things in, and need to go to submit in this case because you submit data. And then when you go back, you can also upload document if you have, for example, a withdrawal letter. If I go to my files, I have a withdrawal letter that I can attach at this time as well. And then I can click withdraw submission, and that will then change the status of the case of this procedure. Need to wait a second. So if I now go to my overview, the status now has changed from in progress to withdrawal requested. And then from then onwards, the EMA reviews this requested withdrawal, and the usual background work happens, and the withdrawal is either accepted or not. Now I want to show you a completed case. So I go to the completed submissions. I have here a case that I've prepared previously. You can see that the case status is completed closed, and I can view this case on the side, which is, again, it's similar to what has been shown just now. So I can see basic submission details of this case and the timetable. I can navigate via the breadcrumb or via the back button. I can see the documents that you have submitted as applicant. I can see the documents that EMA has submitted. And also under outcome details, this is a new section that appears after a case is completed. Details of the procedure, of this finalized procedure, is available, like the approved scope for this procedure, and also a little bit of the history with a precise scope, which was is the scope at the start of the procedure. And as you know, that sometimes can change a little bit. We can also see that annexes are affected and which annexes are affected, and which procedure, which scopes for the procedure have been accepted. So it would show a different scope outcome should one of the scopes not be accepted, or a single scope of more than has been withdrawn. And that concludes my demonstration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sonia. So I'll share my screen so we can go to the next steps. Heading over to you, Simona.
Yes, thank you, Katarina. Just a few slides on the next steps as well. As already presented in the previous slide, but it is important also that to set up a portal contact, or if you would like to change any other roles within the submission, within the case. So it is requested for all market authorization holders that you request access as an IRIS industry user, and you have a link to the EMA portal to request access. That all the people who needs to got access, or who needs to follow the submissions, got the right access and could see all the procedural details as explained by my colleague Sonia. Also, it is important that you follow the instructions, which are set up in sections 5 and 6 of the IRIS user guide to registration substances and research product identifiers. So now we can go to the next slide. And the next slide will points the upcoming also info sessions where you can see more information on the IRIS industry portal developments. So the next public system demo is planned on the 26th of March. And the question and answer clinic is also planned for Q2, which will cover the new procedures to be onboarded on IRIS, as presented by Madalina in the timelines slide as well. And we are also planning to make a training for marketing authorization holders for centralized authorized products, which to take place in Q2 to Q4 as well, to have you informed and on all functionalities and on usage of IRIS for all post-authorization procedures to be on board in IRIS before the rollout in 2025. And the user guide also will be updated in order to implement the newly onboarded procedures in the user guide. So it is planned also at the end of this year. And if we go to the next slide, here you have all the links to all the necessary information, or also the links to ask any questions you may have on usage of IRIS or timelines implementation. So you can access IRIS forum to find the latest news of our regulatory procedure management for product lifecycle management. And here you can post all your questions if you have. Also, please access industry Q&A document as well to find the general frequently asked questions, and we intend to update this document on a regular basis if we see that there is a major questions received by many applicants as well. So yeah, this document is a living document, so it will be updated on a regular basis. And as mentioned, user guide for applicants as well. You can now already find specific instructions how to use the system for transition procedures as well. And if you're interested also to see how the system and what are the capabilities and different types of functionalities as well within the system to prepare for your products to be onboarded into IRIS. And yeah, this is the link also to IRIS email if you have any specific questions on how to use IRIS system. I think this is the last slide we wanted to show you. And now I'm handing over to Katerina for questions and answers you posted during the session. Thank you, Katerina.
Thank you, Simona. So I'll share again my screen for the Slido. Okay, so let's start from the most upvoted question, which is the following one. Please explain how the fee regulation is tied in with this IRIS development and roadmap. Why is this regulatory deadline so important for the deliverables of procedural handling in the IRIS? Time is now used as a means of urgency, but it's unclear why.
I can take this one. So it's not really a means of urgency. We have worked for 2 years to develop the core process and 11 processes altogether. When we talk about variations, transfers, and Article 61.3 notifications. However, the NIFI regulation is an opportunity because DMA doesn't want to invest in legacy systems. Moreover, we implemented the fees already in IRIS for all the processes existing in IRIS, and IRIS is a way more adaptable system compared to our legacy system. So it's also a decision taken on reasons of risks, of course, investments in the future, and Of course, the adaptability and the ease to implement in newer and more technologically enabled systems such as IRIS compared to our legacy systems. So that would be the answer for this question regarding the fee regulation implementation. And this, of course, the implementation of new fee regulation starts in 2025, so there is plenty of time, and this is why we started already early to let you know about the roadmap change, which is new and was one of the highlights of this webinar. Thanks for the question, though it's very good to highlight the change.
Okay, thank you, Madalina. Next question. When referring to documents outside ECTD, are you also referring to the working documents, for example, Word PI, or will they continue as working documents to the ECTD?
Sonia, do you want to take this question? Maybe.
Yeah, so the working documents with the first submission will remain with the ECDD submission, and those documents will then be saved by our colleagues in the case management system. Anything else, any further working documents, if they're requested during the procedure, they can then be uploaded by the MIH via IRIS, via the industry portal, as I've shown in the demo.
Okay, thank you. Next, can we have a general button to download the whole submission, all documents included, everything for archiving purposes? Seeing generic emails are not allowed.
I think currently you have the possibility to download all the documents from the portal. And you also have I'm not sure, Simona, maybe correct me here if there is a possibility to download also a list of the outcomes. But otherwise, we could take it in consideration.
Yeah, thank you, Madeleine. I just want to make sure that we are not talking about the general submission documents, which are still, as indicated in the slide, continuous as it is via e-submission gateway, etc. Just to also make it clear that the documents to be exchanged via industry IRIS portal are the documents which are currently sent via Ultralink or if there is something also sent via email. So those documents will be exchanged through the IRIS portal. And if we are talking only about those documents, you can download those documents in a bulk, actually selecting several documents at the same time. So just to make it clear that we talk only about those documents which are currently exchanged through the Ultralink with EMA and with market authorization holders. Thank you.
Thank you. Next question. The MAH contact person by default needs to add users to the submission manually for each submission to be able to read the communication in IRIS.
Yes, different roles need to be assigned to each individual submission, whether the industry coordinator is assigned to the industry as such and got access to all submissions related to that organization. So there are different types of roles with different types of involvement within the procedure. And for this also, I would advise also to get access to this guide document, as was mentioned in the slides as well. I hope it answers the question.
Thank you. Next, how do you get a submission number for an upcoming procedure? Is that number then automatically available within the gateway?
I would also like to clarify on this question that it's mostly for work sharing and 1A groupings involving more than one product. We've set up a process which is outlined in the user guide where The company requests in the cover letter the number. So as per the current process, we will provide you with a placeholder for procedure number, which should be available indeed in the gateway, so in the delivery UI interface, in order for the company to select it and guide us at case registration to include all the products covered by the respective procedure. So just to clarify, because probably it was not maybe that clear from the slide, that this includes all procedures variations with more than one product, 1As, 1Bs, type 2, VRAs, and so on. And the process is the same, a request as per today's process for the number of a placeholder procedure.
Okay, thank you, Madalina. Next, what is the retention time of EMA documents output in IRIS? Can this be accessed for finished procedures?
I can take that one. So there is no process in place yet to remove the documents from the IRIS. And just to confirm that all the documents which were exchanged during the procedure will remain accessible even when the procedure is finalized.
Okay, thank you. Next, does this also apply to linguistic review process?
I think this comes maybe as a follow-up to, but maybe we need a clarification as a follow-up to the exchange outside ECTD via the portal. If not, maybe we could just say that the linguistic review process stays as it is, with a final upload at day 25 to the EMA via the industry folder. So submission from industry.
Okay, thank you. Next one, will the product data, for example, packaging, pack size, be sourced from PMS?
Yes, so the packaging and the pack size and all this information comes from PMS or via the IRIS view. So you would see a snapshot of a version of the product which was there at the time of submission in your case.
Okay. Next, if a person who submits is not the MAH contact, how can we work on IRIS?
I can take it. Yeah, so as indicated, the portal contact by default remains the product contact for post-authorization procedures. And this portal contact will get the first notifications from EMA and could access, but then it can be granted, assign another, let's say, portal contact can be changed to another person who got access to IRIS. So this is why we request all the companies also to request IRIS access for the persons to be involved in the procedures, but they could be reassigned if it is necessary once the procedure is started. So for this, we want to maintain this type of information within EMA as up to date, that all the products has up to date persons authorized for post-authorization procedures as well. But in addition, also there is you are empowered to change the portal contact as many times as you wish from your end, and EMA will get automatic notifications which is the portal contact with email address where all the communication now needs to be sent. So this is how the communication model works in IRIS in order to ensure that we are communicating with the right person within the procedure. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, access the submission in IRIS. Does it mean that submission of variation dossier via EMA gateway will no longer exist?
We already answered this question in writing, and it was explicitly mentioned in the slides, but it still remains. Just maybe to repeat that only the exchange of the documents, which are currently via Ultralink, will be exchanged through the IRIS portal.
Okay. Next, what is the accurate definition of a lead product? Active substance, strength, dose form, other? Where to find this definition?
We can update in the user guide indeed to maybe clarify if it's not there yet. We are using the concept of lead product for the purpose of the fees and also the portal contact. The lead product is the product which belongs to the marketing authorization holder, which should receive the invoice. So that's the main purpose, and will automatically also include in the portal the as a main contact, the contact person which is set for this lead product. So we are using it for two purposes. One is fee, and one is to set the portal contact in industry portal. The part on setting up as an automated portal contact for the case, the contact of this lead product is just a consequence of having the lead product as the marketing authorization holder for receiving the invoice. However, as explained by Simona, the portal contact can be changed at any time in the portal. So once you receive information about your submission, you can change it to other colleagues.
Thank you. Next, which contact person will be addressed in IRIS in case of PSUR and other types of submissions where there is no application form submitted?
Sonia, can you take this one, though we are still in...
Yes, indeed. So it's still a work in progress, as you've seen from our roadmap. But for procedures with multiple MAHs, which are standalone entities, unlike for work sharing, there will be a contact per MAH per submission.
Okay. Next, is there a maximum size of the documents to be uploaded by the industry? For instance, for big variations with many updated documents. Also, does the VNES folder need to be zipped to decrease the size?
I can take that one, Katerina. It's also mentioned in our guidance document as well. So there is no maximum number of files or global size. There is a limit of the 50 megabytes per file, and it is recommended to upload individual files for each document as well, rather than a single zip file or similar for the set of all the documents. So just so I think the size is quite big for as one file as well. And the zip file is also recommended only as the container for the literature references, if there are any. And just also to make it clear that all the documents which are submitted through the VNES or ECTD submission will remain as it is now, and you should follow the rules for those applications. You don't need to re-upload the documents which you submit via VNES. It will be accessible as it is now. So you only upload the documents which are currently exchanged through the link. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, will the IRIS portal contact, so the person listed on the EAF, have to assign other users to access the procedure each time a new submission is made?
We covered that question. Yes, the portal contact is per procedure, per submission. But as I said, there is another role who can be across the company all submissions and can view all submissions and access the data. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, will the temporary out-of-stock reporting also become part of IRIS, or will we continue to send the field form via email to EMA?
I can take this one. So this is not really part of this current implementation. I think you are referring probably to the marketing status and well, the supply chain issues. There are plans to, and in current actually ongoing implementations to move this to different portals and Iris. But this is not part of our implementation for today. So you will get more information from other webinars.
Okay, thank you. So here we have a question asking for one button to download different types of documents. So downloads for archiving, if it can be made easier. Who would like to address this?
I think, Simona, already you covered the part that the documents could be downloaded in bulk from the portal.
Okay.
It can be also uploaded, maybe not as, of course, a individual very big file, but when you upload, you select multiple files and upload them, and downloading works the same.
Okay. Next question, for how long will cases be stored and be accessible in Iris after closure?
We did cover this one also, Simona, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Next, can you say something on how the ongoing move from submission documents to structured data submissions will integrate with the enhancement and scope widening of Iris?
Well, this would be part of the phase 3, as I've mentioned. So of course we are waiting now to have ECTD4 implementation and a lot of FHIR standards, and that will impact Iris in stage 3, where we will improve and enhance our integrations and the way all our systems communicate.
Okay, thank you. Next, is there any change foreseen to the process and data related to the substance and research product identifiers?
So this is a process which is not covered by our product, and we cannot provide more details on this.
Okay. Next, the case numbering in Iris has a mismatch with the way procedures are dealt within a lifecycle perspective. Dossier build-up is now made unclear for the users.
There is a life cycle on the ECTD, so there is a clear sequencing on the submissions as per the ECTD. And you will see that on the portal, actually, you will have the possibility to filter your cases and put together a life cycle. Even if you don't have the same case number, you will have quite more information than available today in order to set up the life cycle of the product. I don't know if my colleagues have anything to add to this.
Okay. No, okay, thank you. Next, will the MAH be notified via email that there has been an update within the Iris portal? For example, a correspondence has been received, notification of procedure start, or will the user need to monitor Iris to determine if there are any updates?
Sonia, do you want to take this one?
A bit of both is the answer. So yes, there will be, as presented by Simona earlier, there will still be email notifications to the MAH about the procedure status. But in addition to that, the MAH can also go to the industry portal and view the status and the details of the cases.
Okay. Thank you. Next, will a functionality be developed for the NCAs to exchange Iris case information, preferred in an automatic manner?
Take that one as well. So just, the NCA user also has a different access to the network Iris portal, and they can access all the information from there as well. In addition, the active notifications will remain to the rapporteurs or to any other case-related team members as the PRAC rapporteurs, let's say, or co-rapporteurs. They will receive the notifications, but in addition, they can access the information through the network portal. And also, yeah, as mentioned by Madalina, the further, let's say, improvements in terms of the collaboration can be also taken at a later stage. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, are the uploaded documents by the MAH immediately available to the rapporteur?
I can take that as well. Yeah, once it is uploaded and confirmed by the industry that the documents have been uploaded, it becomes available by all users, to including the network users and rapporteurs, the same way as it is available for the EMA users as well. Yes.
Thank you. Next, is the IRIS portal only intended for CAPS?
Yeah, do you want to cover that?
Yes. So the industry portal is mainly intended for CAPS, but of course it will also be intended for all procedures where the EMA is the responsible authority.
Okay. Next, will it be possible to participate to the UAT before the rollout for all CAPS?
I can take that one. As it was already presented in our previous demonstrations, but maybe worth mention that we also have the subject matter experts from industry, which are 7 of them, and they are actively involved in all the UAT sessions we are handling before the rollouts as well. And we are handling the bi-weekly meetings with them as well to present and to gather their requirements for the further developments. So yes, the industry subject matter experts, they are involved in the UAT sessions before the rollout. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, will response to RSI be submitted via IRIS by the MAH or via the gateway CTD format?
It was already covered, but I can just repeat that responses to RSI to submit it as it is now via eCTD sequence as well, as it is now, continues the same practice.
Thank you. Are approval letters and final annexes uploaded to output from EMA folder when case is closed with positive outcome?
Yes, the output documents, it will not change. So you will receive the same outcome documents, opinion, assessment report, etc. But instead of receiving it via a Utralink message, these documents will be uploaded into the industry portal folder.
Okay. Does the IRIS super user have access to all submissions?
I can take that question. I'm not sure what do you mean by IRIS super user, because there is no such a role for industry, but maybe you mean the IRIS coordinator. Industry coordinator have access to all submissions related to that organization. So just, I guess it answers the question.
Thank you. As you know, mismatched numbers issues are still ongoing for inspections numbers, regulatory number versus inspection. Can we avoid almost double numbering new standards?
So this is mainly what we are targeting. We'll also have only one case number, as explained in the guidance. So it would be EMA / the code for procedure and a random number. This will be maintained. For PSURs, we will have to understand if there would be a double numbering, one for procedure, one for case management, but this will come later on. When we will have more clarity on that. But otherwise, all the numbering would be just one for each procedure type, the case number.
Okay, thank you. Next one, how can an MAH know if one of their products has been selected by EMA for the first transition to IRIS? In total, as we said in the presentation, there are 67 human generic products and 44 veterinary products. So I can provide a first answer to that. So all MAHs with selected products for this first rollout have already been informed, specifically their contact points. So if you have not received any communication around that, this means your product is not involved in the transition for this first rollout. Please, if someone else wants to add on this, feel free. Okay, thank you. Next, can we submit PSURs for a Medicillam product via IRIS? Will the Simplicity portal be replaced by IRIS?
Yes, as mentioned already by Simona in the slides, the submission requirements will not change for our procedure types.
Okay, thank you. Next, the PSUR repository will continue to be available for use?
Yes, it's a little bit related to the previous question. So the submission requirements will not change, and also the EMA's legal requirement regarding the PSUR repository will not change, but we will move the case management of these procedures to IRIS.
Okay, thank you. When will the slides of this presentation become available? So I can answer that. The slides will be made available on EMA website on the event webpage. So if you look for this event by the title, by its title, you will find the webpage on EMA website, and there you will find both presentation and recording. Thank you. Next, MAHs need to archive all exchanges with EMA, so it will be very valuable to enable MAHs to do a full download of a closed case, including documents, emails, timetables, etc. Can this be enabled?
I can take that. I think, yeah, this is a kind of requirement, so I think all the requirements can be taken and prioritized accordingly in the further improvements and yeah, developments. We'll take it as a new requirement as well. Thank you.
Thank you. How PLM portal is connected with IRIS portal?
I can take this one. There are few points. One of them is basically that the IRIS portal is mainly an EMA-oriented portal for EMA-led procedures, as Simone and Sonia already mentioned. So all the procedures led by EMA for centrally approved products or for nationally and centrally approved products, depending in case of PSUR or referrals, are managed by the EMA and will be visible in the industry IRIS portal. The PLM has a wider use. It's also a place for daily work for marketing authorization holders and other stakeholders related to nationally approved products, so as MRP, DCP, pure national authorization, centrally approved products, to create electronic application forms, create now the pilot for the EPI, the product user interface will be there. So it has a wider purpose, the PLM portal, and it's also used to create the electronic application forms, which are part of the ECTD submissions submitted via the gateway and received by us. And only afterwards, EMA after receipt of successful submission, we'll create a case in IRIS for the procedures which are led by EMA for centrally approved products and referrals, PSURs, and passes for mixes. So that's, I took the opportunity to do a recap because then it helps to have an overview. Thank you.
Thank you. You said that IRIS is for any procedure that EMA is responsible for. So submissions from NAP for PSUA, signals, referrals, will they be available in IRIS?
So again, the case management will be in IRIS. The submissions will remain the same via the various means, CCDD, DNIs, for example. So the case will be in IRIS, and with the case being in IRIS, of course, the details will be available in the industry portal for the MAH.
Thank you. What will be the first procedures to be submitted via the new IRIS process? When is the cutoff date for submitting via this new process?
I can take this one. We already are managing procedures in IRIS for a subset of products. So it's 67 human and 44 vet products. We started on 23rd of January. So for the companies which are affected by this new way of working, the procedure management in IRIS is already taking place. And for the wider marketing authorizations holders group, the submissions will be somewhere in end of Q4, just ahead of beginning of 2025. So that would be duly announced ahead.
Thank you. Next, which is the difference between IRIS and PLM? I think we've already covered that. Okay. Next, does the RPM affect also PMF exchanges?
I can take this one. Not for the moment, but we are looking into it. It's also a priority-based sequencing, but we have this already in our longer-term roadmap.
Okay, thank you. Next, to have auto-forward working efficiently, the IRIS communication should have a standard subject and or a standard email address.
I can take that as it was already presented on the slides. Yes, there is a standard email address from which all the communication will be sent to the industry. So you can set up a auto-forward rules as well. And just maybe also to mention that it also, as we said, it contains IRIS tokens. So some kind of word as IRIS is also fixed within the email subject.
Thank you. If PSUSA procedure will be moved to IRIS as a case, will assessment template be available in both PSUR repository and IRIS, where the assessors will elaborate the report?
So yes, again, the case management will be in IRIS, which includes, of course, the documents and the collaboration on the documents. However, we will be mindful of the legal requirement of document storage in the PSUR repository.
Thank you. Step 2 processes are different from Step 1 processes in IRIS. How will IRIS support supportive processes from NCAs that aid to the way of working with IRIS?
I can take that one. So just also to mention that we have NCA subject matter experts within our team as well. And we meet with them on a regular basis to also update on further developments in order for them to evaluate the impact on national systems as well. And we will hold a technical seminar with NCA IT people as well to explain and for them to take into consideration IRIS new way of working into the national system. So yeah, the work and the collaboration is in process.
Okay, thank you. Can we submit PSURs for a medicinal product by IRIS? Will the Simplicity portal be replaced by IRIS? Maybe.
The answer is no. The submission process for our procedures in IRIS remain the same. They remain via the usual channels. So there is no change in that regard. IRIS is a case management system, not the submission system for the full dossier. That will remain unchanged.
Thank you. In case any error in the document, do we have to re-upload the submission, or is it possible to correct the same at real time?
I can take that one. So yeah, if you need to correct the document, so you have to re-upload the document again, because there is no possibility to access the document directly from the IRIS portal and to work in it. So that means that you cannot correct anything within the document which is already uploaded, because it triggers any communication which is sent to EMA as well, and that the EMA is already accessing the document. So you need to re-upload the document if it needs to be corrected.
To be managed in IRIS, is the subset of the selected products going to change soon?
We will contact the impacted marketing authorization holders if that's the case. Currently not, but if it's if the strategy is going to change, or if there is any update, the impacted marketing authorization holders will be contacted.
Thank you. For which processes is RPI fundamental?
For none, regarding, we are not using the RPI for our case management. We are using the products as you know them, the authorized products. RPI is a product before the authorized product. So currently we are not using it. May have a relevance in the future when we will implement the marketing authorization application.
Thank you. Which role has to have the by default contact?
If I understand the question correctly, it is about which role within the current, let's say, set of the contacts within the product in order to be assigned. So as it mentioned, it has to be a industry portal contact for authorized for all post-authorization procedures. And as it was mentioned in our slides as well, so this is the portal contact as indicated in the electronic application form of the initial marketing authorization application under the section 2.4.3.
And Simona, I think this role, so this contact will have an industry manager role, right? In terms of
Yes,
IM.
by default, it becomes industry manager and also portal contact. And then it's up to the industry users if they would like to change the portal contact in case of, well, let's say, holidays or any absence. So you can do it from your industry portal side independently. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Next, will the invoice portal remain as it is, or will it be replaced by IRIS as well?
IRIS is solely case management system, so submission and other systems will not change at this time.
Thank you. In the context of preparing for human variations web-based DAF, which field names will be affected by the new updates?
I'm really not sure I understand this. If you could have a follow-up question, so I would refrain from responding because I'm not sure what it means, unless my colleagues have.
Okay.
Maybe I can add, it might be related to the lead product concept as well. So we are also liaising with electronic application colleagues as well in order that it could come clear, from in the electronic application form that there is a need or requirement to indicate the lead product. Yeah. Or unless it's not in this context, just yes, please type a follow-up question to explain it in more details. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next. What I don't fully understand is when a variation is submitted via CTD, do I have to link this variation submission to IRIS? For example, uploading variation form?
I can take that one. No, you don't have to do anything. As we said, the submission continues as it is now. EMA receives all this information related to the submission. And then on the EMA side, the submission will be created by EMA colleagues, and then you will be notified once the submission is created, and you will start receiving all our emails and notifications based on the procedure that you want to apply. So no, you don't need to create anything from IRIS portal. Actually, you wait for EMA to create a case on our side, and then it will become a submission on your side, and you will receive emails from EMA once the submission is created.
Okay, thank you. So next, will there be a difference in access to information based on role for CAs when it comes to rapporteurs? And concerned. For example, can everyone edit a report in IRIS?
Yes, so this is what allows us. IRIS has a integration with IRIS SharePoint system, and working in SharePoint, it allows all the users who got access to this application can edit and work on the document. So this is what we also aim to gain a lot of benefits as well, rather than now you work individually on your system, and then there is somebody who needs to collect all the comments, to gather all the feedback. Working in IRIS and accessing all the documents directly in SharePoint, it allows the network users and EMA to simultaneously work on the same documents and to save time, and also to access the document every time in its latest version as it's been created or updated or commented by all other users.
Thank you. Next, for CAPs with one EU MAH and multiple local representatives, will the country regulatory functions be having view access to on status of ongoing variations, etc., for the CAP they have in the country?
I can take this one and club it also with one which is the latest. As you know, typically marketing authorization holder submits via service desk one form with all the product contacts, or post authorization with all the product contacts which correspond to the marketing authorization application 2.3, 2.4, 2.5 contacts, depending on. 2.3 is the contact for post authorization procedures. This contact is the default contact for your case, for your submission. If you want to grant access to other colleagues, let's say your national affiliates, of course, they need to be affiliated to the marketing authorization holder in IAM, and you can provide them roles as contributors to see, but it has to be an individual action, case by case, but by the, from the marketing authorization side. And there is one in the background related to the application form contact. We are here mentioning application form for initial marketing authorization. Those again, those 2.4.3, 2.4.5, so 2.4.3 is actually the contact authorized for communication on behalf of the marketing authorization holder on the post authorization setup. So it's not the EAF as from the variation, which currently states a signature in a contact. We have to clarify that for centralized approved products will have to be set as a default, should be the product as contact is communicated to EMA, and then afterwards, when a submission is available on the portal, you have the opportunity to change it. So there's a bit of technicality here, and we will make sure to update the user guide to clarify that regarding also the web form and the EF.
Thank you. Next, how is contact person reassignment in IRIS linked to obligations for SAMET portal?
I think I've just responded to that the contact part sent for SAMET product is basically the portal contact for the product and will be default on the case. And then on the IRIS portal, as Simona also explained, this SAMET product contact will have the liberty to update per case the contacts and the manager and the coordinators for the respective procedure submission case.
Okay, thank you. Next, can the assigned manager contributor be from another company? Yeah.
So
Okay.
you want to explain maybe? Just
Yeah.
if, because this is a particular situation where we have two companies working on the same case, right?
Mm-hmm.
Simona?
Yeah, so as it was explained by Madalena, so if this person is associated to that company at EMA, at IAM portal, so, and it can be assigned by the industry administrator to that particular case. Yes. You need to be associated with the company for which you would like to access the submission on the IRIS industry portal.
Okay, thank you. Will IRIS contain documents from other product NAPs, as the case of PSUSA?
So yes, the normal case management documents, assessment reports, etc., will be shared from the EMA to all MAHs, just as is the case now, but it will happen through the IRIS portal. However, the submissions of other companies are remaining separate as well, so that each company has access to their own submission only. But if documents are shared, outcome documents, assessment reports, etc., that will happen via the IRIS industry portal.
Thank you. Next, is the assumption correct that also PIP correspondence will be managed by IRIS as it currently involves correspondence via UDRALink?
It really depends in which context, because the pediatric procedures are ongoing and onboarded soon to IRIS. However, when submitting a PAP as part of the regulatory procedure, this will be handled via the respective procedure. So it's really depending on what stage of the PAP you are.
Okay, thank you. Next, for CAPS, for CAPS with one EU MAH and multiple local representatives, will the country regulatory functions be having view access to on status of ongoing variations? I think we already answered this one. Okay. Next. IRIS retains a connection with a current common repository. Will that stay in place, including the API, and how will that evolve with the foresight of ECTD version 4?
So
Yes.
go ahead, Simona. Sonia.
Yes, again, so IRIS is the case management system. The submissions via the common repository, ECTD, VNIS, will remain in place. So there is no direct connection, but of course we will refer to the submission in our IRIS case so that we can make the connection to the document submitted.
Thank you. Next, can we submit PSURs for a medicinal product via IRIS? Will the simplicity? No, I think we had this one as well. Okay, that's strange. Okay. As IRIS is only for case management, will there be a link connecting IRIS and PSUI repository, or these two systems will be independent?
Yes, we have answered this somewhat earlier. So the submission, of course, will happen outside of IRIS with a common repository, etc. And the case management, which includes, of course, the working on the collaborative working on the assessment reports within the network, will happen in IRIS. And of course, we will be mindful of the legal requirements of the PSUR repository to be available for network users as well.
Okay. Next, contact person mentioned in VAF will become a portal contact for that particular variation only, or for all of the variations as well for that procedures? For that procedure.
This is okay. Go ahead.
Take that one. So as we explained, so the contact person, as mentioned here, for the product will become a portal contact for the procedure where this product is set up as a lead product. So the answer is that for all variations where this product with this contact person is set up as a lead product, as explained earlier, will got access on all the notifications. And in addition, he also becomes by default a industry manager. But then from your side, you can assign more than one manager to this submission. And you can also assign other roles with different, let's say, responsibilities to that case. But as a portal contact, there is only one person and one email address, which is also exposed on EMA side and which will be used for all our communications. So this is also empowers you to set up your way of accessing these submissions to as many roles with different access rights and to as many people as you wish in order that you could manage the procedure on your side. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So it's 11:27, so I think we can close the Q&A now. There are 4 questions left, but we will respond in writing. So before closing the session, I've just activated a survey where you can leave us your feedback on this session. Please fill in this survey. It's just a couple of questions, one ranking and one open text. It will be very useful for us to shape our future sessions in a way that adapts most to your needs. So yeah, thank you for joining us our session again, and I leave the floor to Madalina for closing. Thank you.
I won't take much of your time. Thank you very much for attending and for this great number of participants and your interest. Thanks for my colleagues for preparing such a extensive presentation and responding to all your questions. And see you probably in a few months with new updates and new sessions for your questions and maybe also more clarifications to the questions provided today. Thank you and have a nice day.